Nitai, 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 Nitai.
Oh, please sing.
Page 184. Pitavarana Kali Pavana Gora Gawai Chaichana Bhava Vibhora Gawai Chana Bhava Vibhora Chitta Darpana Pari Marjanakari Krishna Kirtana Jaya Chitta Bihari Hela Bhavadava Nirvapana Briti Hela Bhavadava Nirvapana Briti Krishna Kirtana Jaya Klesha Nibriti Shreya Kumuda Vidu Jyotsna Prakasha Krishna Kirtana Jaya Bhakti Vilasa Vishuddha Vidya Vadu Jivana Rupa Krishna Kirtana Jaya Siddha Swarupa Ananda Payonidhi Vardhana Kirti Krishna Kirtana Jaya Plavana Murti Pade Pade Piyusa Swada Pradata Krishna Kirtana Jaya Prema Vidhata Bhakati Vinoda Swatma Snapana Vidhana Krishna Kirtana Jaya Prema Nidana Pitavarana Kalipavana Gaura Gawe Chana Bhava Vivora Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
What translation? Yeah, sure, why not? The golden complexioned savior of the age of Kali, Sri Gaura, sings as follows, overwhelmed with bhav. All glories to Sri Krishna Kirtan, which cleanses the mirror of the heart and delights the soul. All glories to Krishna Kirtan, which even if chanted indifferently, has the tendency to extinguish the forest fire of material existence and ending all suffering. All glories to Sri Krishna Kirtan, which casts moonbeams upon the white lotus of good fortune, causing it to bloom, and which is a loving pastime of bhakti. All glories to Sri Krishna Kirtan, the life of the bride of transcendental knowledge and the embodiment of perfection. All glories to Sri Krishna Kirtan, which is glorified for expanding the ocean of transcendental bliss, which is the embodiment of the deluge of Prem, okay. All glories to Sri Krishna Kirtan, which bestows the taste of nectar at every step. This chanting is the fountainhead of pure love of God. All glories to Sri Krishna Kirtan, which bathes the soul of Bhakti Vinod, and which is the root cause of Prem. Jai Shri Krishna Kirtan ki jai. Okay, so. Oh, that. Radha what?
Radha Bhajan.
Oh, a Radha Bhajan.
Yeah, a Radha Bhajan. You know Keshavastakam?
Nope, by heart.
No, like.
Of course, I know Keshavashtaka, yes. That's what we'll be speaking today about. Keshavashtaka. Yeah. Okay, so. Let me just pull it up on my phone, or computer rather. We can all sing it together though. Yeah, we're gonna sing together, but. Yeah. It's not in there. It's in the purple book. Yeah, can everyone get it? Yeah?
I'll read the translation while you guys are getting your books. I worship Keshava, who returns from the forests of Braj with his ears beautified with earrings made of fresh kadamba buds, whose crown is brightened by blooming malati flowers, and around whose neck a wreath of slightly blooming utica flowers is wound. I worship Keshav, who returns from the forests of Braj, joyfully wandering amongst his Surabhi cows, calling them by their names, Pishangi, Manikashtani, Pranatashringi, Kshani, Mridangamukhi, Dumali, Shabali, Hamsi, Vamshi Priye. I worship Keshav, who returns from the forest of Braj. He is softened by deep love, enjoys sweet joking conversations, and he is the abode of all playful pastimes, enjoyments. He shines in many different dresses and laughs at the best jokes that his friends make along the way. I worship Keshava, who returns from the forest of Braj. The leaves that were painted on his cheeks with mountain minerals are slightly washed away by drops of perspiration, and his curly locks defeat the luster of a cluster of bees. I worship Keshav, who returns from the forest of Braj. The cows that eagerly look at their bound-up calves deeply carve the soil with their dancing hooves, and he withholds them with the soft playing of his flute. I worship Keshav, who returns from the forest of Braj, beautifying the roads with his footprints, whose garland is made gray by the dust thrown up by his herd of restless cows, and whose cloth, scarf, and crown are moving along with the waves of the blowing wind. I worship Keshav, who returns from the forest of Braj, where he gladdened the minds of all the cowherd girls at once with the playful and artful tunes of his murali flute, which causes them to horripilate of ecstasy within their inner quarters, and who constantly gives joy to the heart of the queen of Braj, Yashoda. I worship Keshav, who returns from the forest of Braj, being worshipped by hundreds of dancing, playful glances and beautiful smiles of these beautiful girls on the road, and the corners of whose bee-like eyes move restlessly around their bud-like breasts. To anyone who nicely recites these 8 prayers that are a festival of bliss for all the cowherd girls, the friend of Vishaka, Shri Krishna, will give firmly fixed attraction to his lotus feet. Such a pure-minded soul will attain all happiness. Navapriyaka manjari rachita karna purashiyam vinidatra ramalati kalita shekarino jvalam darajvasita yutika gratita vagu vaikakshakam Raje Vijayinam Bhaje Vipina Deshasta Keshavam Pishangi Manika Stani Pranata Shingi Pingekshane Vidanga Dumale Shabali Ham Sivam Sipriye Iti swasurabi kulam taralam avayantam muda Braje vijayinam bhaje vipinade shasta kesham Dhana pranaya me duran madura narma goshtikala Vilasanilayan milad vividave shavidyotinam Sakina kila saraya patishu hasayantam gira Braje vijayinam bhaje vipina deshasta keshava Shamambhukanika validaravili dagandantaram Samudagiri datubilikitacha rupatrankuram Utashadali mandali dutividam divakralakam Braje vijayinam bhaje vipinam deshasta keshavam Nibadhanavata nakavali vilo kanut kantaya न तत्कुरपूतश्चलिरलघुभिर्भुवं विन्दातिम् कालेन धवलगतं लघु निवर्तयन्तं पुरो व्रज विजयेन भज विपिनदेशस्तकेशव पदं कततिभिर्वरं विरचयन् तामद्वश्रियम् चलतरलानैचिकिनिचय धूलिधूम्रसजम् मरुलहरे चञ्चलितदुकुलाच्युतञ्चलम् भज विजयेन भज विपिन देशस्तकेशव विलसमुराले कलध्वनिभिरुल्लासन्मनसा शनदखिलबालविपुलकायन् तामन्तगृहे मुहुर्विदधातं हृदि प्रमुदितं च गोष्ठेश्वरीम् भज विपिनदेशस्तकेशव उपेत्य पतिसुन्दरि ततिभिरावीर्यव्यचिताम् स्मितं कुरकारं भीतर्नतदापं काभङ्गिजाते स्तनस्तवकं सञ्चरनयनं चञ्चारिकञ्चालं भज विजयेन भज विपिनदेशस्तकेशव इदं निखिलबालविकुलमाहोत्सवलोचनं क्रमेण किलाय पुमान् पतति शुष्टुपद्यष्टकम् तामुज्ज्वलदेयं सदा निजपादराविन्दद्वये रतिं दद्यदा चञ्चलसुखया तद्विशाखसाका व्रज विजयेन भज विपिनदेशस्तकेशव जय केशवदेव जय केशवदेव जय केशवदेव जय केशवदेव कृष्ण है कृष्ण है कृष्ण है कृष्ण है
Right, yeah. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Damodara Rati Vardana Veshe Harini Skuta Brinda Vipineshe Oh Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Oh Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite वृषभानुदादि नव शशिलेके ललिता सखी गुण रमित विशाखे वृषभानुदादि नव शशिलेके ललिता सखी गुण रमित विशाखे ओ राधे जय जय माधव दाइते ओ राधे जय जय माधव दाइते करुणाम कुरुमयि करुण बरीते सनक सनतन वनित चरिते करुणा कुरुमयि करुण बरीते सनक सनतन वनित चरिते करुणाम कुरुमयि करुण बरीते सनक सनतन वनित चरिते सनक सनतन वर्णित चरिते ओ राधे जय जय माधव दाइते गोकुल तारुणी मंडल महिते हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय वृषभानुनंदिनी राधे राधे वृषभानुनंदिनी राधे राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. I know you guys have a Mangala Charan, so maybe we can all say it together because I forget the order of how Didi does it. Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadavaktaya Namo Namaha Yan Praprajantam Anupetam Apeta Krityam Dvaipayano Viraha Kataraha Juhava Putre Pitam Mayataya Tarava Vinedus Tam Sarva Bhutaridayam Munimanatosmi Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Shiptascha Kamadhitaranga Madhye Kripamaye Tvam Sharanam Prapanna Brinde Namaste Charanarabindam Tavaivasmi Najivami Tvaya Vina iti vigyaya radhe tam naimam charanantike. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Guru Pada Padma Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Rupanuga Gauri Guru Varga Ki Jai, Shri Keshava Vrata Ki Jai. Hare Krishna devotees. First, I'm offering my pranams and to my Guru Pad Padma, Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and the same unto my grandfather Gurus, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, to the whole Rupa Nuga Gauri Guru Varga, to Srimati Shamarani Didi, and to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, please accept my Dandavat pranams. You are all very exalted, qualified, sweet souls. And I don't feel very qualified to speak to you all, but what I will share is what I've heard, which is always a safe thing. That which has touched my heart and changed my life, I will share with you, because that is the one gift I have, is amazing association. So Didi actually asked me to speak a little on Archan, but I gave an Archan class a while ago when I was here. It's recorded, so if those who want to revisit that class, if they want to get into Archan, they can do so, and we can do kind of a question-answer, just discussion of Archan rather than going through the whole kram or the whole progression of Archan. But before we speak on that, I want to share that this month is the month of Keshava, called Keshav Vrat. We just sang the Keshava Astakam. I don't know if you know much about this Vrat, but what is beautiful about our Gaudiya Vaishnavism is that there is opportunity to fill your day, 24 hours a day, with seva and remembrance of the pastimes of the Lord, as well as the entire year. The year has very beautiful seasons for us to remember. Monotony is not fun. Ever fresh, ever new pastimes, ever increasing love and sweetness. This is what Radha and Krishna are. This is what they are embodying, and this is what we are as a soul want. We don't want stale and dry and cold and old. We want fresh and new and sweet. And so having this beautiful calendar year of all these vrats and festivals, we revisit them every year with ever fresh new moods and understanding, and we sing the same prayers at those specific times. And when we come back after a year of separation from those prayers and sing them again, new found appreciation comes. So what is Keshav Vrat? We have the 12 months of the year. They all have different names. This is the month of Vaishak, also called the month of Keshav. When we do tilak in the morning, I'm going to tie it with Archan, so you'll see. And I have to give credit to my Shiksha Guru, Sripad Premananda Prabhuji, for giving me these insights, because without him I wouldn't know these things. So I must honor him in that. But when we do tilak, what is the first prayer we do here? Yes. Did you know that the 12 tilaks represent the 12 months of the year? Each month represents a name of Krishna. And this is the first month of the year. Oh my God, guys. It's Keshav Vrat. It's the first month of the year. Even in Bengal, they have the Bengali New Year's, just happened not too long ago. We also, as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Gaur Purnima is considered our New Year. So Keshav Vrat is the new year. And Akshay Tritiya is coming in a few days, and it's considered the beginning of the universe, the beginning of Satya Yuga. It's the beginning. So this month is very much a month of beginnings. It's the spring season also. We're getting into summer in India, but again, it's the beginning of the year for many cultures also. So Keshava Vrat, this is a month where we honor with more attention and detail and devotion Shalagram and Tulsi Devi. Shalagram and Tulsi, there are eternal. Tulsi Devi is the eternal consort of Shalagram. And to worship Shalagram, very simply, he's only happy with Chandan and Tulsi. Water, chandan, and tulsi. Ganga jal, water, and tulsi and chandan. This is the most simple way to serve him, and actually the most pleasing to him. You can give him boga and many other things, but if he doesn't have chandan and tulsi, he's not satisfied and happy. So on this month, we, in India, oftentimes they'll have a hanging pot. I see you guys have this hanging pot with a hole of a constant drip of flow of water on Tulsi Devi and a constant drip on Shalagram also. Why? This is a good question. Why? It's hard. In many temples, they don't have this in the West. So it's very, when I'm seeing this, it's making me very happy. Impressive. It's not easy to make. This is a whole operation. I was thinking, I said, who is doing this? This is a lot of love. Otherwise, it's not easy to make this. In India, you can do anything like that. But here, it's harder. So why do we submerge Shalagram and Tulsi in water during this time? Does anybody have any insight or ideas? Good. Yes, very good. Yes, in India this time it is starting to get excruciatingly hot. But this heat is also a deep meditation because Brajadam is getting very hot. This is representative of the deep burning of separation that Krishna is feeling from the gopis. And so to alleviate his separation, we are meditating on always cooling him with sandalwood paste and water. And also Tulsi Devi. She's his consort. We water her in a practical way. She needs a lot of water at this time also for her to thrive because it's very hot. But why is this month connected to this mood of separation and Chandan? Because Chandan Yatra is also happening on Akshaya Tritiya. There's a lot of festivals and they're all interconnected. We've heard this story of Krishna experiencing a headache in Dwarka. He has an excruciating headache. And Narada Muni is trying to remedy it. They have doctors, different people coming to see what can we do to help Krishna. And he has a very bad headache, and he reveals to them, to Narada Muni, that the only way I will be relieved is if I get the dust of my devotees. This will relieve my separation. The real separation in this world, Chaitanya Charitamrita says, is the separation of devotees. This viraha, this is the real fire, this is the real pain of any devotee. Material suffering's nothing. It's all very temporary. We only suffer because we identify with the body and the senses. And when things happen to us, it's not what we want. And it's our lust that's not being satisfied. That is the suffering of this world. But the true suffering of a devotee is the separation of Vaishnavas. And similarly, this is the real suffering that Krishna experiences when he's away from his dear ones. So Narada Muni is looking to find who will give this foot dust to Krishna. So he approaches the queens of Dwarka and he says, will you give the foot dust of your foot dust to remove the pain of Krishna's headache? And they said, oh Rishi, oh Narad Rishi, how can we do this? He is Bhagavan himself, and if we give our foot dust, we will go to hell. We cannot do this. So Narada Muni is thinking, okay. So he travels to the land of Braj, knowing that the Brijabasis have a very special place in Krishna's heart. And he comes to ask the gopis, Krishna has a headache. He needs some foot dust. Oh, without any hesitation, without even explaining, the gopis say, how much? And Narada Muni with his uttariya, his cloth, lays it out. And they scrape their feet on the stones, all the dust, make a big, big mound. And then Narada Muni ties it and carries it on his head, singing Radhika Raman, all these names of Radha and Krishna. As he's walking back to Dwarka, Krishna is barely breathing. He is tossing and turning at night, crying, Hey Radhe, Brajadevike, Hey Lalite. He's crying in separation, having dreams. The queens of Dwarka cannot understand why does Krishna love these gopis? They're not as beautiful as us. They're not as classy. They don't have that sophisticated high birth. They're just cowherd girls, milk maidens. We don't understand what is happening. Who are these girls? Narada Muni comes back with this foot dust, and Krishna immediately puts on this gopi chandan on his head, and immediately his headache is removed. And there in Dwarka, there's a beautiful forest that is made for Krishna to remember Vrindavan, Nava Vrindavan, near the ocean. And there there is a kund that he creates with the Gopi Chandan being at the banks. And so every day Krishna comes and puts this tilak on, this dust of the gopis to remember them. Otherwise he cannot tolerate being away from the gopis. So this whole month is in that meditation of we as aspiring maidservants of Srimati Radharani under the guidance of our Guru Varga, we don't want Krishna in separation of the gopis, but the gopis' duty is always to create union between Radha and Krishna, to not have separation, but to create meeting. So this Chandan, in a way, is a meeting in separation. Also meeting, but in this pastime specifically, Krishna is able to meet in some way the gopis by receiving this Chandan. So it's not ordinary. And there's many, many pastimes about this burning. Madhavendra Puri finds Nathji, Sri Gopal, in Govardhan. He was hiding. The Muslims were coming and invading, and so the pujaris hid Gopal in the bushes somewhere. And Madhavendra Puri was in Govardhan, and Krishna revealed to him where his location was, and he uncovered him. And that was the second Annakut festival that they've ever had in Braj. First, we had it when the Brijbasis did it with Krishna. And then Madhavendra Puri, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, reinstalled this festival and installed Gopalji back with Giriraj and had big festival. But in his dreams, Gopal said, I'm still suffering. I'm very hot. I can't tolerate it. I've been in the bushes for so long and not cared for, and I'm burning. So he went and took a journey walking all the way to Puri. Why in Puri? So all the chandan you get is from Puri, in the Malaya hills, in the area. Because the gopis, as they bathe in the Yamuna, their foot dust carries through the Yamuna all the way to the ocean where they make sandalwood. So those sandalwood trees, someone could think, how is that the gopis' foot dust? I don't get it. But the sandalwood trees, that's what they have that mercy that they are carrying the foot dust of the gopis. And that's why we use the sandalwood. Yes?
That reminds me of something I read in Sri Guru Darshan book.
Mm-hmm.
It said that Mysore is also known for having like the gopis chandan.
Yeah, that's where the sandalwood trees also grow.
Mysore.
Yeah. But also in Jagannath Puri, there's a few areas. But there, yeah, exactly. Yeah, good point. So when we follow Keshav, Krishna himself is putting the dust of the gopis on his head. This is what we do every day. That's the first thing we do, Om Keshavaya Namaha. So we're actually following Krishna's plan, Krishna's process to glorify and follow the gopis. He's doing that. So we also do that. Mahaprabhu also does that, wearing tilak. So this Chandan has a lot of significance. So on Chandan Yatra, on that day, Krishna is fully covered in Chandan. In India, it takes many, many hands and many, many hours where he's changes color. Also, this is another significance why he's different color now. Right now we have Krishna's gore here. He's light colored. But generally we know him as blackish. So covering him in Chandan, now he's fully covered in the moods of Radharani and the gopis. Just like Mahaprabhu. So there's some significance there in Chandan Yatra of him really wanting to be embraced. Radha Lingita, this verse, Radha Vinod Bihari. Anyway, there's a lot of things. I don't want to get too into how sweet this month is. But again, so going back to Madhavendra Puri, he walks to Jagannath Puri. He gets the Chandan from the king of Orissa. Chandan's not easy. It's expensive and it was heavy. The king knew he was exalted, so he had a sevak come and carry all of it for him. But on the way, they stopped in Remuna Dham, where there was Gopinath, another deity of Krishna, very ancient deity. And Gopinath had kept some of the kheer for Madhavendra Puri secretly. The pujari collected all the kheer at night, but then one of the pots was hidden behind Gopinath for Madhavendra Puri. So then they realized that Madhavendra Puri is not an ordinary sadhu, that Gopinath loves him very much. And so when he returned with the Chandan, Gopinath came in a dream and said, no need to go. Gopal came in a dream to Madhavendra Puri and said, no need to walk all the way to Braj. you put the chandan on Gopinath. We are the same. And so in that way, it was a huge festival of putting chandan on Gopinath to cool Gopal. So this month, like I said again, we are cooling Krishna's separation, this burning fire. What else? What else can we say? Oh yes, this is the month of Baishak. We read in the Keshavastakam, the friend of...
Does that mean that we should, just while we're on the Chandan subject,
Yes.
does that mean that we should be covering Shalagram in a lot of Chandan this month?
Not necessarily covering him, but he should have chandan. He should be bathed every day, and more tulsi if you can. And I was telling Raga Manjari, speaking of the archa now, in the practical way, I don't know if everybody does this, but when you're doing archan, you're bathing Shalagram and Giriraj and giving them chandan and tulsi, but at the same time, you should also put chandan and tulsi on Radha and Krishna themselves. On Krishna's feet, chanting Gopal mantra to his feet, and also on Radharani's right hand. Every day, if you can. You have so much tulsi. And I was saying, what better way tulsi is happy with being at the feet of Krishna and the hands of Radharani. So that's something you can do. It's not a big extra step. It's not. So when you do the Tulsi Devi to Giriraj, also to Radha Krishna. And if you have Mahaprabhu, also to his feet. Yeah.
So chandan is like the ground sandalwood, right?
Yes,
That
yes.
with water.
Mm-hmm.
Then, so what technically is the clay that we put in the morning?
It's a mixture of that and actual dust, a braj. Yeah, it's some kind of special, unique mixture. But yeah, they're in a sense we're seeing them as one in terms of their purpose and their symbology, right? But yes, okay. So going back to, oh my God, time is flying. I don't know how long the class is. Also, 30.
We take breakfast around 10.
Okay. Anyway, I don't want to give too long of a class. Thank you. Okay, I just want a practical time constraint. This is also the month of Vaishak, and in the end of Keshavastakam, we heard about Krishna being the friend of Vishaka. So Vishaka and Lalita are Radharani's most near and dear Sakhis, and they are in charge of arranging the meetings of Radha and Krishna all the time. But sometimes Lalita Devi plays the role of increasing the greed of Krishna to try to pine for Radharani and appease her and work harder for her and just being with her. Otherwise, not making it so easy for Krishna. Sometimes Lalita says, no, why are you letting this debachi come in? Why do you submit to him? So she plays this role. But Vishaka Devi tends to be tender-hearted to Krishna. So when Lalita is keeping Radharani away from Krishna in this pastimes of Man, Vishaka helps Krishna figure out how to appease Radharani. So both are working in tandem to increase the sweetness of the lila. So Vishaka is helping Krishna meet Radharani. And in this month we meditate also Keshava. What does Keshava mean? Anybody know? Yes. Yes. In one meaning, it's he who kills the Keshi demon. I think sometimes is mentioned as Vishnu, because Keshava is the name of Vishnu also. All the tilak names are names of Vishnu and Krishna. God. But yes, the deeper meaning is one who decorates Radharani's hair. So in this month, in the month of Vaishak, we also meditate on Krishna, trying to learn how to be of service to Srimati Radharani in Shringar decoration. Learning from Vishaka Devi, how to braid, how to decorate, all the alta designs on the feet, things like that. So that is the Keshav we meditate on in this month. In other sampradayas, they're meditating on Keshav as Vishnu, and they're meditating on Shalagram. And of course we can meditate on Shalagram, but the unique form of Shalagram is the most ancient form of Thakurji. It's since Satya Yuga, Shalagram. And you see he doesn't have much of a form. He's like a stone, he's round. But the significance of that is he manifests all swarups of Krishna. Not specific. It's according to the mood of the devotee, how he's revealed. So just like the Dashavatar, Keshavadrita Meena Sarira, Keshavadrita Kurma Sharira, Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa. This Keshav, he is Matsya, he is Kurma, he is Varaha, he is Narsingha, He's Parshuram, and even in this month, Nrsingadev appears. This month, Akshay Tritiya is Parshuram's appearance day. Ram's appearance day was not too long ago. There's a lot of appearance days here. So that Keshav, he has many, many forms, but the Keshav we are worshipping is the one learning to braid Radharani's hair, learning from Vishaka Devi, ultimately. But we don't we don't exclude all the other forms. That is why it's such a beautiful month. There's so much time to meditate on all of Krishna's supreme personality. Yes.
Does the Krishna learning to braid Radharani's hair happen in Shringarva?
Yes. Yes, in Shringarvat, that's where he braids.
On the Parikram road, right?
Yes, exactly. Right next to Gopinath Bhavan by the Yamuna. Near Vamshivat. Yes. So, yeah. I don't know if there's anything else I want to say on the subject matter. There's a lot of sweet Harikatha I've heard over the years that is just sweet, sweet, sweet. But these songs are, a great way to enter into those, like these songs of Krishna, the dust being kicked up by the cows. This is like the mood of the gopis of how they're seeing Krishna in his form. This is Keshava. This is their Keshava. So we can hear these songs and meditate on Shalagram also as we bathe. Well, Tulsi is the consort of Shalagram. There is, later on in Kartik, there's a marriage ceremony. We don't focus on this story as much as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, but it is a Puranic story of Vrinda Devi being married to Krishna. And so there's a marriage ceremony. Even in Radharaman, they do this ceremony. Different temples will do the Tulsi Shalagram wedding ceremony every year. So they're always eternally together. So just as Shalagram is getting water, there's Tulsi Devi's getting water. Like I said, practical also because it's hot. But if you read, so I'm giving more of our Gaudiya mood of it, but this is throughout all Sampradaya, Vaishnav Sampradayas. It's in Hari Bhakti Vilas. It's in all the Puranas. This is one of the most ancient vrats, is bathing Shalagram. It's like, it's why it says the original kind of vrat. Yes. Oh, someone had, I thought they had a hand. Yeah, it's the original vrat. And even Advaita Charya, he brought Mahaprabhu through bathing Shalagram and offering Tulsi and Chandan.
And yelling.
Yeah. That always has to be there. Archan is, I was telling Raga, the archan part, the physical aspects of using the paraphernalia is because we have a gross body, we have to engage our senses. This is like an opportunity to alchemize the material into something spiritual. But if we're not internally being situated, then what's the point? It's just ritual. We're not about ritual, and a lot of people from the outside who aren't devotees think, oh, it's just like ritual and just statues. But it's all about sambandha, building relationship. Because I am stone-hearted, and we're so mundanely situated, these practices help understand that we're not the body. So at the very beginning of Archan, the first thing you do is Bhut Shuddhi, meditating on yourself, not on Radha Krishna. Who is Radha Krishna? We don't know Radha Krishna. We don't have relationship yet, realization at least. So meditating on ourselves and reminding ourselves that we are not this body. Naham vipro nachara narapatir. We're not a Brahmin, a Vaishya, Shudra, a sannyasi, brahmachari, lady, old, young. We are Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayur Dasa Dasa Nudasaha. We're the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna, but not just any Krishna, Krishna who's the Lord of the gopis, or whose Lord are the gopis, right? That's Keshava. So that we have to meditate on that first, and then you can't just jump to Radha Krishna. Who are we? We are the Guru's Das. We are the servant of Guru. We have Divyam Shihari Mandiradyatilakam Kantam Sumalambitam, that verse. That meditation, I don't know if I'm speaking the language that people understand, but these are all Bhut Shuddhi verses. You guys say this in Archan?
Yeah, but most people here don't do Archan.
That's okay.
No, I mean, that's why they wouldn't know.
So let me explain. Anyone who has Diksha should learn Archan. This is the first thing. Not saying they have to do it on the altar.
Oh, I wanted to give you more background. There's like many people here who don't have Diksha, who
Great.
are like, who don't know Archan, so
Great.
you're talking people who maybe start, who are like 1 month coming to the temple.
Great.
So
That's okay.
so you just know where it's
when new people came to greet, if he's talking about Manjari Ba first day. So it's okay. We can do basic and all. We'll just have it all encompassing. And whatever sprinkle drops land on you, just keep them in your heart pocket, as Greeted would say, even if you're not ready for it. You will be ready. This is to create greed, to be ready. But essentially, okay, so when we start, I'll just start over now. Okay, so Archan is the process of worshiping the didi, the form of the Lord, in murti form. How does the murti manifest? It's not a speculation. This is coming from the heart of pure devotees' realization. That is how Thakurji manifests from Shastra. That's how we hear the descriptions of how Krishna looks, how Radharani looks, how the forms of the Lord look is through Shastra, but the Shastra is revealed by the heart of the devotee. Just like Radharaman manifested to Gopal Bhatta Goswami, it is from his love and realization that Radharaman appears, not the other way around. Comes from the love of the devotees, pure devotees. And then the pure devotee shares it with the world, and then we can, in a bona fide way, worship Thakurji. So when we're doing this, those who are getting the second initiation or the Diksha mantras, they're having the ability to worship Thakurji in the temple because there's a lot of rules and regulations that is needed to learn the rules of love. You have to be regulated. So the first thing you do before, and this is for everybody can take the essence of this, even if they don't know the prayers. Before you even chant any mantras, your Gayatri or your Maha mantras, you should understand that you're the soul. You are the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. That is your identity, and that you are the servant of Guru. You can imagine yourself with clean clothes in a holy place, chanting on the banks of the Yamuna or Ganga, at the feet of your Guru, in the purest state, surrendered and dedicated. Even if you're not as surrendered and dedicated, you can aspire to be. This is like affirmations, like Char Prabhu was saying, I am beautiful, I'm this. Well, I am Guru's servant, and I am dedicated, and I'm surrendered. So you can have this affirmation. That's what Bhuj Shuddhi is. Forget about the Sanskrit verse for now. I'll send it to anybody, the document. You can look it up. But you meditate on that first before even approaching the Archan. This is the beginning of Archan. Then we meditate on Guru. How can we worship Radha Krishna without Guru? Meditating that Guru has both a form in Navadvip and a form in Braj. They have a swarup. They're not just this mundane physical body that I'm seeing now in a mundane way, but they have an eternal form that I want to have a relationship with and have that revealed to me. And they will guide me in this Archan process because they will also reveal the forms of Radha and Krishna to me and Mahaprabhu. Then meditating on Mahaprabhu, and you've heard many descriptions of that. I don't have to get into that. Radha Krishna, their descriptions, how beautiful they are, how beautiful the land is, the Dham. Then you do the practical Archan. So the practical Archan is there, but I want to kind of make the point this time that if the meditation is not there, it doesn't make any sense. You're offering honey, you're offering water, you're offering this, you're offering that. It's like people get tripped up on the list and then they can't remember what the list is because they're not connected to. It's a very sweet list. You're giving a seat, you're washing their feet, you're giving them something to drink, you're giving them a bath, you're giving them some sweet smells and flowers and bhog and garlands. You're just adoring them. Bhajan means to adore. It's not just worship. Worship, we are not in the line of, we are practicing Vaidhi Bhakti, but we're not in an Ashwaryamoy Bhakti. We don't want an awe and reverential relationship with the Lord. We want an intimate, sweet relationship. So it starts with, having that with Guru, making it deepening our connection through this process. The Archan's very set up to go into Bhajan. Archan is the foundation for Bhajan. Bhajan means to adore, not just worship, to adore through our worship. The incense is adoring Radha and Krishna with fragrance. You're meditating on, anything that's in our body, whatever is the light of our heart is being offered, our soul, the air, the fire, the water, all the physical stuff. We're offering the elements, but we're also trying to offer ourselves as a sweet offering. Yeah.
Your Devi said arati means arati.
Yes. That's right. That's right. That's what arati means. The whole archan is praying that this is all, it's aspiring, it's all affirmation, it's all manifestation. You're trying to say, this is what I hope to be. I hope to always be in this service with my guru, bathing and doing all this, actually. And so we get the chance. Krishna is so merciful. He comes in Archa Vigraha form so that we can start to build relationship with him and her, Radharani. So yeah, I don't know any questions specifically with Archan, but you're saying not a lot of people have Diksha. But just to understand, I'll just leave it up for questions and discussion. What you do generally in Archan is in a very basic way. This is something you don't even need the mantras, and you don't have to do it physically. You can do it mentally. This is what I was saying. A part of Archan, which I know you don't do, but you can do, is Manasi Seva. It's an actual regulated, structured Manasi Seva. It's not like a speculative Manasi Seva or like imagination. It's going through the 16 articles of offering to your Guru and then to Mahaprabhu and to Radha Krishna. And that is, like I said, offering a seat, washing the feet. I won't get the whole list, but you're giving a sweet Madhuparka honey drink that's refreshing and rejuvenating. You're bathing them, massaging with oil, bathing them, giving them fresh cloth, tilak, tulsi, flowers, incense, ghee lamp, and boga to eat, and garlands. If you think about it, it's all the great things that are just so, if you wanted to greet someone, it's the best things you can do. Fragrances, even sweet words and prayers, all of that is part of Archan. But you can do that in your mind as you're chanting japa also. So you, even if you don't have Diksha, you can, in a simple way, you don't have to do a whole list. But sometimes if your mind is distracted, sometimes it helps to have visuals. And actually, ultimately, all our Guru Varga, they're fully engaged in Manasi Seva as they're chanting. Now, we can't imitate that, but sometimes you can do a little exercise of the mind. Imagine a nice seat. Invite your Guru to sit with you and chant. Give a garland. Oh, Guru needs water also. Give some water. Simple way you can do this. This is really what Archan is about, is making this a natural habit. And then eventually, then when Guru and Vaishnavas give that mercy, it will be a flow. And we won't be even having to mentally create these images. It will be descended in our hearts like a movie. All the pastimes, all everything. But still, we're trying to show that we want to see. So we will use our mind to do these bona fide practices of mental meditations. Okay, so any questions? I don't know. I don't know what Didi, she just said speak about Archan, but like I said, I have a video about it, and I don't know if anyone has questions about just practical Didi worship. It's very individual, I will say. There's you could read Archan Deepika, but I can see people get confused, like, oh, but it says this, and oh, I saw this, someone else did it like this. Archan is pretty individual. There's a basis that is true and general, but it's not like so black and white in how things are done. Yeah.
Is there a particular doll that you feed the deities?
A particular what?
Doll.
Like lentils? Like dal?
Yeah, like do they like a specific doll?
I don't know. You'll have to ask them. Or ask your Guru Devi, But we see that Srila Prabhupada, he established this a lot of what Thakurji likes, like when he came to the West. Like the Bhoga Arti, the lunch meal is usually certain dal and puri and rice and kheer, like Krishna likes sweets, milk sweets, and, things in ghee. And all these kind of things. So I don't know specifically that.
The reason why I ask is because on Thursday I'm going to go to Bogota, and I already spoke to the president at Bogota. I'm going to be arriving, and I asked him if I bring anything. He said, oh, bring some doll for the deities. So I was wondering what would be the best doll that I could offer their deities.
Yeah, mung is generally good. Chana dal, mung dal. We don't have red lentils. That's another, there's those red lentils. Don't buy those. The masoor dal we don't eat.
Anything that you could recommend that I could bring as an offering, so I could show my gratitude for accepting me there. I'm not staying there, but I'm just going to be doing
Really? Wow. Um, well, it's always nice, and this is actually a rule of thumb for any guest coming here. If we want to show honor to a temple, it's always wonderful to offer boga, to buy boga, and to give fruits or dry rice or ghee, really high quality ingredients. So you don't give them, you want the best for Takurji. So to honor a temple, it's always nice to not come empty-handed. I mean, if you come every day, I know it's not practical, but if you're coming, let's say once a week, or you haven't been here in a while, if you don't like, and here I am saying this, and I didn't come with any gifts, so I'm feeling ashamed. But you want to always come with something, and that's a very easy thing. Fresh flowers, rice, ghee, things dried that are easy, not cooked, because that can be sometimes impractical for the pujari. Yeah, so you can do that for your temple. That temple or that place you're going to, bring some flowers, buy some ghee or rice, and that's practical. You can use that in pujari seva too.
I don't think I can get tortilla served with ghee though.
Oh, you're going somewhere.
I'm going to ISKCON, Bogota.
Oh, Colombia. Sorry, it just took me a second. I didn't know what Bogota was until it was like sounded like a Sanskrit cool thing. Bogota. You can get it in Colombia. Buy stuff in Colombia.
They asked me to bring it. I told them I'm coming from the United States.
So do you have incense, or maybe there's something that's doubles here?
Maybe Dahl's hard to get in Colombia.
Yeah, it must be.
Oh, so get mung dal. Okay, I didn't realize you just get mung dal. Camphor from the Indian store, like things like that. Camphor is great to use for.
I just want to come.
No, that's great. Camphor, incense, whatever is difficult to get there, you should get for them if you can. Okay. Any other? How do you want? Yeah. Okay. Well.
Oh wait, I have more questions.
Oh, okay.
So we have many deities,
Mm-hmm.
and I once asked Srila Bhaktivinoda Madhav Samaraj about the deepa, the lamp offering,
During the RT.
because especially we used to do arti where we all sang even the Mangal Arti song at the same time, so you had to be really quick.
Yeah.
He said it's okay to actually just offer it once to Radharaman Bihari, and then all the other Radha Krishnas on the altar are served. But he said if you have the time to do it all, how do we separate the deities, separate them like in our mind? I was thinking about it this morning. It's by Ras Tattva.
Yes, it is on Ras Tattva. So I don't know if I have to say it in the mic if people didn't hear you. Okay, so his question was, or not really question, when we're offering the ghee lamp during the arti, you asked Sripad Madhav Maharaj about if you have so many deities on the altar, how do you practically do it? And the main deity, like for example here, Radharaman Bihar, you would offer, and all the other Radha Krishnas are served in that way. But if you have time, you can also offer to all of them. And you're saying, in general, the chronology or the way you offer a ghee lamp is through ras. Who's the higher rasa?
The question that I actually was
Well, yeah, what's the
also
question?
thinking of is we have a lot of blankets to put on the deities at night.
These are really practical. I don't want to be your authority on this, but I will give my suggestion.
Because there was one time where it started becoming so few that'd be one blanket over everybody, and I'm like, it's kind of weird. Giraj in the same. I was like, okay, Giraj in the same bed as Radha Krishna's okay because they're usually on top of him, but not having the Guru Varga under the same blanket. Do you know what I mean? They're totally different.
I mean, they're all serving Radha Krishna. It's all. So I will say, with all of this, your mood matters. If it's disturbing to your mood, where you feel like, okay, I don't want to put a blanket on top of Guru Parampara and Radha Krishna, the same blanket, because, oh no, they're in sadhak form and Radha Krishna are doing intimate passage. If that's how you're thinking, then that's how, for example, Nityananda Prabhu is Guru Tattva. Do you see him as Guru or you see him as Nitai or Balaram? Really depends on how your mood is. Because you can look at Nitai and say, that's also, my Guru is within Nitai also. It's all mood is what I'm saying. So if whatever is disturbing and feels uncomfortable, better to do separate, keep everyone separate and kosher. Otherwise, then it's no need to create mental stress. But yes, there are certain Thakurjis you don't mix. Like Nrsingadev does not go near Radha Krishna, we know that. But Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna are same tattva. So if they're all together and you put a blanket around all of them, it's fine. But if you feel like, oh, Braj Leela, Navadvip Leela, well, that's your understanding. That's your actually material vision to like not see, understand like full realization. But like I said, we're all where we're at. If it feels better, better do that so you're not disturbed, right? Give Mahaprabhu separate, fine. Now Nityananda Prabhu, he's generally not mixed with Radha Krishna, right? But like I said, if you're seeing him as guru, there is some reconciliation sometimes in like mood. But still, we don't, anyways, I don't want to get into that because it's very esoteric. And I don't have the praman to like support it right now. But I've asked this question and it's come up a lot with this chronology or who I offer and how I do. And Gurudev honestly loved simplicity. And he's like, if you have other TDs, get rid of them. And just like have your main Ishtadev. In the sense, not get rid of him. I don't want to say that. Just pure bhakti, ananya, one-pointed. If you can be as one-pointed as your deities, it's much simpler for you as a practitioner, because otherwise then you're thinking, oh, Jagannath, and oh, Nrsingadev, and like, oh no, and then you're like trying to offer to them, and it can be confusing.
We had Jagannath and Braj for a little bit, and I was confused.
Exactly. I understand the confusion. But as Sripad Madhavmar says, you have your main deities. If you worship them, everyone is satisfied. They are one in tattva. This is the understanding of tattva also, you have to understand. We bathe Shalagram and Giriraj, but that actually is, we've done the bathing of Radha Krishna through them. They're not separate. And that's like our mentality wants to separate all the time. But when we're bathing Shalagram, Krishna is fully bathed. Radharaman Bihari. So we have to that's why I said give Tulsi to Krishna and Radha. Also, they're part of it. You're doing it already. You're bathing them and doing everything. Yeah, I don't know if that helps. I'm like scared if I say anything wrong. I'm going to be questioned. Okay.
You're saying how you can see Nitai as your guru, or you can see your guru within Nitai?
Yeah, within Nitai. Yeah, Gurudev, yeah.
Could you also see, like I have a Nitai deity, or Nitai deities, could you also see Nitai, like if you see Gaur as Radha Krishna combined, could you see Nitai as Nanda Manjari?
Well, yeah, so this is getting into the esoteric stuff. Yeah, but basically they also are in a specific ras. They're doing Sankirtan ras. So you don't want to get too mixy. Like Rasa Leela and Braj is Sankirtan ras and Navadvip. So that's Kol, Kartal, Mridanga, Harinam. That's what Gaur-Nitai are doing, right? So then you don't want to, but yes, in Tattva, yes, you're right. But like I said, there is a reason why Gaur-Nitai is separate from Radha Krishna in general, because of the Leela is different. Mahaprabhu is a das. He doesn't want to be Krishna in Nayak, enjoying pastime. So it's just a slightly different ras. So just respecting the rasas. Gurudev always wanted partitions between the different deities. Gaur-Nitai should have their own prakosht. The word prakosht is like altar area. Not prakosht means like division. It means division. So it's like their own division. And Radha Krishna should have their own division. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra definitely own division. Nrsimhadev. Because they're different leelas, different ras. So yeah. In terms of offering ghee lamp, that's always a thing. I think it's very individual based on the mental disturbance. Like if it's really going to be just at the end of the day, the large deities are the main focus. And whatever you can do through time and through everybody else. But you would do, Radha Krishna first, Nityananda after, and then Guru Parampara. If there's Nrsingadev, then like Nrsingadev, Guru Parampara, like that.
Do you offer the remnants to the associates who are on the altar? Like what I'm meditating on what I do actually is after I offer the incense, I then offer it to all of the associates. I don't offer the incense to them, I offer the prasadam.
Sure, of course.
Okay.
Gurudev, when I made a garland for him and I put it on him, he said, did you offer it to Radha Krishna? I was like, no. So then he made me offer the garland and then give it to him. This is the mood of our Guru Varga. They only want the prasad of their beloveds. Of course, with Guru Puja, it's a little different because you're just offering the articles to Guru. But in the arti, they want the prasad and remnants. That's why you offer it to Radha Krishna first. Now, in other temples, they do offer to the Guru Varga first, and then offer. Their mood is, I can't worship Radha Krishna without Guru, so I'm worshiping him, and then, which is fine. But in our line, the way we've been taught, you already know Gurudev's assisting. That's the mentality you start with, and then you give Guru the prasad of that offering. It's just different ways to do it. Yeah. Okay.
Can you speak
Oh.
a little bit about the similarities and differences of serving Guru like within the heart, like in Archan when we're like offering all these articles and things when we're in this meditative space versus when we are like physically serving Guru when we're like offering Srimati Shamarani Didi water and food stuff.
Well, this is a very personal religion. You have to get to know your guru, and they have what they like and what they don't like. It's not like speculation. You actually can practically know what is it that is. So that's the beauty of Guru Seva. There's Vapu and Vani. Vapu is the physical seva of the using, massage, and practical seva with Guru. So that's a very personal thing. But of course, there are basic Vaishnav cultural things like a seat, water, garland, chandan. Actually, when any sadhu comes, that's always something beautiful to give garland and chandan on the head. That's generally a way to greet, and a seat. So these are like the archan stuff that we offer in a practical way is across the board you can do to Vaishnavas, and it's very pleasing. None of that is displeasing to Vaishnavas. I've never seen a Vaishnav displeased, unless they're in a mood of humility, and like that's a different. They don't want it to be worshipped. But your question, okay, I don't really understand your question now. I like got lost. Your question was about the internally meditating on Guru and also the practical worship of Guru. So like I said, the practical worship you learn through being with Guru and their sevaks, being taught how to properly serve. In the internal meditation, that's all given in the archan, where you're offering the 16 articles in your mind. But like I was saying, when you're doing it physically here with the pots and bathing Guru, with the picture, you're limited. You don't have all the ingredients, the best ingredients. You're doing it in a very small way. So the beauty about the mind is, in this Kali Yuga, anything you think of negatively in your mind has no bad karma. But anything you do positively in your mind, you get the reward for it. So you can meditate, oh, I want to have a really nice seat. Even physically you can serve Didi, but let's say there isn't a really nice water bottle or a nice thing that she has. You wish it was better. You can do it in your mind. And guess what? It will manifest physically eventually. I've experienced this. Yeah. How did Prabhupada manifest all the temples of ISKCON? He did Manasi Seva for a while. Yeah. And then in Bhaktisiddhanta, these many lakhs that he did, Gaudiya Mat manifest. It doesn't, the physical is a secondary manifestation to the internal. That is how the pure devotees work. We're the opposite. We have to do the physical and hopefully something internal manifests. But these processes are helping us get internally situated so that it's not just rote action. Yeah? Does that answer your question? So basically, abundantly, your mind can utilize the mind, engage it. Otherwise, it'll wander, do something else. Engage it. Okay, even in this temple, if there's something practical that needs to be done and we can't afford it, imagine that. I remember, like, my husband, he's very good at this. Just chanting, and he was seeing that there was not a lot of boga in the kitchen. Like, Prabhuji in India serves a lot of devotees, 10,000 people they feed a day. And so this was before we got to that level, but he was like, oh, I'm imagining like so much ghee, so much rice, so much dal, like abundant. And Prabhuji's cooking so happy, and there's just like no shortage. You know, simple things we can serve in our mind. That's what it's called, Manasi Seva. We're serving, trying to do whatever is lacking in the physical world in our mind. And so then, like, the next year, like, crazy donations are like rice and ghee is coming. You know, so sometimes Krishna hears the prayer and it manifests also if it's sincere. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, yeah. Anything else? I think we're done. Or, offering's still done. We can do some kirtan also, but any other? Yeah, I don't know if any practical things. I have the Archan document. offerings. I don't know if there's questions about offering food, maybe. Yeah,
I was trained, like I grew up in ISKCON,
Yeah.
so they have like a different way of, like the crumb is different, of like the mantras, and the mantras are different.
for what
So
specifically?
like offering boga.
So how would you do it? Can you describe it to me?
Like you say.
He's speaking about how he originally learned
Right.
offering boga, yes.
Right, like Prabhupada mantra, like
Yeah.
Om Shivaya.
Yeah. Okay, that one. Namo Maha and
Namo Mahavamanyaya.
Gobrahmanya Hitaya Cha. Yeah.
And then Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so that mantra, so in a practical way, Srila Prabhupada is a genius, of course. He is giving the process so that anybody can offer food in a simple way, because even a child can do that. You don't have to have diksha. Now, we do offering with Gopal mantra, but that means you have to have gone through the purificatory process of diksha and gotten that. So Prabhupada, in a practical way, showed those prayers, because yes, in essence, you're praying to Guru, you're praying to Mahaprabhu, and then all the associates of Mahaprabhu, the Vaishnavas, the Brahmins, you know. So in that way, it's all-encompassing. Prabhupada is expert. Like, in a nutshell, that's what you're doing. But if you want to do the Archan way, yes, you're offering a seat, you're giving the plate, you're putting tulsi, and you're inviting Radha Krishna to take, then you're offering to Guru, it's like a whole thing.
Yeah. No, it's fun learning the new way.
Yeah, that's just a practical way, you know. I mean, I think just for preaching purposes, Prabhupada wanted, I mean, imagine even just pronouncing Sanskrit words, how difficult, and it's a whole foreign language and concept. Prabhupada was streamlined. He's the pharmacist, as he was in his youth. What is the dosage to give to the living entity that they will not get indigestion and die, that they can actually digest it and progress? So in a practical way, Gurudev came to, for those who have been doing this, he introduced the Archan Deepika, you know, to learn a deeper way, which is very connected to bhajan. Like I said, this is more rasik, actually. It's Vairi, but it's filled with rasa, if you have the right association. Yeah. I was going to say something else, but now I forgot.
Good point on digesting. Like,
Yeah.
my Gurudev was giving so much Harikatha, you know. And I was, in the beginning, I was thinking, wow, I just want to listen more. It's so sweet, so sweet, so
Yeah.
sweet. And my godbrother said, well, first you digest what you heard, then you can listen more.
Yeah.
So very important to actually remember the Harikatha that we're hearing. Even it's such a high thing, but just to remember it, it's very important.
Yeah, digesting is very important. And same with Archan. We should not over endeavor with Archan that we're become like indigestion, basically. We feel like frustrated, or it's a chore, it's difficult. It should be Gurudev, especially, this is Gurudev's mood, because we're not here for this Aishwarya, like, oh no, we have to do all this stuff. Like, it's not the point.
And Vrindavan Vilasini video, and I just saw her this last time, a few weeks ago, she said bhakti is nothing to do with the external. She
Yeah.
said nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking about it, it's completely our internal mood. Actually, that's all bhakti is a mood that we're offering to Radha and Krishna.
That was very sweet. Tirthavu was speaking that yes, bhakti ultimately is our heart. It's our internal mood, and that's all Krishna wants to taste. He doesn't. We have the story of Vidurani, right? So Krishna comes to Duryodhana's place to negotiate, to say, can we not do this war? Can we give the Pandavas Jai Radharaman Bihari Ji ki Jai? This really quick, beautiful story. Krishna comes on behalf of the Pandavas to advocate for them, to see if Duryodhana is willing to give them some land, because it's their duty and dharma as a Kshatriya to have land and be rulers. So give a village, give something to your cousins. And Duryodhana says, I will not give a piece of land that even a pin will be placed. But Krishna, I have a big feast for you. Come and honor this. And Krishna says, there's only a few reasons why you eat. One is because you're very hungry, you're starving, and you're desperate. And the other is because you have love for someone, and someone's offering you something. And the third is when you're doing a business deal. Like, you know, and it's like etiquette. I mean, I do banking. I'm around bankers recently, and that's what they do. Come to a restaurant, we're going to make a deal. I buy you a drink. You know, it's part of deal making too, negotiation. Food is a part of it. So Krishna says none of these three apply. I didn't get what I want. No negotiation happened. You just said no. I'm not hungry. And it's not love, not lovingly done. So he refused the feast. And then Duryodhana decided to try to arrest Krishna. And then he manifested his Vishwaroop form of his, eating all the universes and fire coming out of his mouth. And everyone freaked out. And then Krishna manifested hunger. He was hungry. And he went to the house of Vidura, not too far, who's considered a Shudra. And his wife, she saw that Krishna was hungry, and she had some bananas. So she decided to give him bananas, but she was so absorbed in his beauty, she was peeling the bananas and passing him the peels and throwing out the bananas. But Krishna was eating it so tastily, he loved it. And Sudama Vipra with the chipped rice. So yes, as Tirtha is saying, it's all about the internal mood. That isn't to say we should be giving banana peels to the Lord, because we're not internally absorbed like that. We should give the best of the best. And actually, Srila Bharati Maharaj said something really beautiful to my dear friend Jamuna. She got didis, her own didis, and she was nervous of like how he installed them for her and gave a name and everything. But she said, how should I serve them? I don't know how to serve. She's very sweetheart, but she wasn't trained in like all the archans. So she's like, how should I serve practically? And he says, however you take care of yourself, you should take care of your didis. And she is someone, that's a perfect instruction for her. Some people don't know how to take care of themselves. But she's someone who's like, puts ointments on her, makes sure her hair is combed, and she's very fragrant. Like she just like knows how to take care of herself nicely. So it was such a good instruction for her, but also for all of us, that if we're hungry, we need to eat. We should think Thakurji doesn't need to eat, but they want to. They want to taste what we have to offer. So yes, we are so lucky that we are in this line, that Krishna is giving us this opportunity, and the Guru Varga is so personally sharing their heart and moods that we can try to get some taste and greed to enter this. Because most of the time, you go to South India also, many places, you go to the temple, it's like, you cannot be near the deity. You are just a scumbag, you're just like... Not only a Westerner or a woman or just like many things, you're not a Brahmin. And, it's just there's so many restrictions on deity worship. But our Guru Varga, Srila Prabhupada, came and just arranged that everyone can participate in deity worship and everyone can get diksha and enter this process. It's not exclusive, actually. So we're so fortunate. And don't get caught up in the nitty-gritty like details. If the mood is there, naturally... Of course, you should always verify with Sadhu Guru Shastra, but naturally, as you practice Archan, it becomes natural, and you'll understand what feels right, because you have relationship. It won't be like speculation. And they will reveal. Sometimes when you're dressing Thakurji, they'll throw off their earrings, and they're like, okay, they don't want that. They start in small ways. You can see, okay, they reveal what they want. And in some cases, which of course I wish I had, the deities talk to you. They tell you what they want. I met this beautiful sadhu in Sanatana Goswami's Samadhi in Vrindavan, and he like called us over, and he gave us bati. Bati is like dough balls that are fried, like cooked in fire, and this is what Sanatana Goswami would make for Madan Mohan, because he's a mendicant, and he's like, I don't have much to give you, so here's this with no salt, So they still make them as the honor of Sanatana Goswami. So he was giving us this prasad, and he said, sometimes at night I wake up with hot flashes, and it's a dream, and Sanatana Goswami is saying, like, I'm really hot, like, please take off the blanket. And he takes off the blanket, then he can go back to sleep. Or sometimes it's the opposite, very cold. And he's like fully internally connected. Sanatana Goswami is, telling him what he wants, and Madan Mohan's feeling what Sanatana Goswami is feeling. Like, it's, there's so much deep relationship. This is what we pray for, that we have like real intimacy and connection. That's what we want in the whole Archan. So if that's your mood of sincerity, nothing is ultimately wrong. Everything will be corrected over time, and you'll learn everything that you need to. Hare Krishna. Gaur Premanande. Jai Gurudev. Shrimati Shamrani Didi ki jai. Panchakalpatarubhascha. Kripa Sindhubheva cha. And before I go, because I'm leaving tomorrow, please forgive me. Please forgive me for my shortcomings and not being of much service here or help in these few days. But if you can all pray for me that I can continue in my Guru Seva and be of service to the devotees, then I'm very, very grateful to you all. Hare Krishna.